Hey, Belle.
Yeah, Bob?
What sounds like a cowbell and smells like a clamshell that all you want to do is say farewell?
I'm not sure. What is it?
It's you, Belle.
Yeah, you think you're smart, don't you? Well, what do you call someone who looks like a slob and a big blob and is completely a snob? Give up? It's you, Bob. Ugh, Bob Schneider gets on my every last nerve. You know what? I'm not gonna let what happened this morning ruin my day.
Did you hear? I heard through the grapevine that Belle accidentally tooted in the middle of history class and it smelled like rotten sardines dipped in ranch. Isn't that disgusting?
Oh, she did not. Are you serious, Velma? What are you saying to everyone? You're supposed to be my best friend, and you know what? I'm not talking to you anymore. Ugh, I can't believe that she would spread word that I farted in class. It was an accident after Benny Button scared me. And you know what? Since Velma talked behind my back, I'm going to get back at her. And I'm going to tell everyone how mean she is so no one's going to want to be her friend. Yeah, that's a great idea. At least I'm home now, and I'm going to do what I enjoy doing. Play video games. Are you serious? What's wrong now?
Belle, is that you?
Yes, Heidi, what do you want? Can't you see that I'm busy?
Well, Belle, I may or may not have broken your video game console.
Are you serious? How did you do that?
Well, I was trying to play with it and I accidentally dropped my smoothie onto it. There may or may not have been a few sparks that came from it and it fizzled out.
I can't believe you. You know that you're not supposed to be touching my stuff.
I'm sorry, it was an accident.
No, you know better than to touch my stuff. In fact, because you touched my stuff and destroyed my toy, I'm going to destroy one of yours.
No, don't!
Too late. Whoa, can this day get any worse? Who puts a table right here that I would stub my big toe on?
What in the world is going on here? And why are you kicking my table?
You put this here?
As a matter of fact, I did.
Well, that's just silly.
How is that silly? And why are you so angry?
Because I am angry. I've had the absolute worst day ever today. First, Bob Schneider calls me mean names on the way to school. Then, Velma O'Hara was saying mean things behind my back when I thought she was my best friend. Then, my sister broke my game console, which she knows not to touch my stuff. And my day just got even worse when I stubbed my big toe on this table you put in the middle of the room.
All right, you need to calm down. I was working on fixing this here nice table.
Well, fix it somewhere else because you don't just have to place it in the middle of the room.
Okay, it sounds like your anger is getting out of hand and it's making you lose control.
Yeah, well, what's the big deal?
It is a big deal. As believers, we need to know how to control our anger instead of it controlling us. You know, this actually reminds me of a Bible story where a person from the Bible controlled their anger instead of letting it cause chaos and trouble in their lives.
Of course you're reminded of a Bible story. You always do.
Sure enough.
All right, so which perfect Bible character is it going to be that dealt with their anger in a good way?
Well, first of all, not all Bible characters are perfect. Only Jesus is. And since you're asking, let's turn to 1 Samuel chapter 24 to see how King David dealt with his anger when King Saul was being a mean bully.
I'm here to tell you a story in the Bible about a guy named David and a guy named Saul. Now, let me give you a little history. God told David he would be the next king of Israel.
Yay!
But there was one problem, and it was a big one. At the time, King Saul was still the king, and he was jealous of David.
Grr! I hate that guy.
So Saul chased David all around the country, trying to capture him and kill him, which brings us to our story for today.
Men, I've heard that David and his troops are hiding in the wilderness. Let's go get him.
After searching for a while, Saul needed a break. A potty break, you might say.
Hey guys, I gotta go. And when you gotta go, you gotta go.
What Saul didn't know was that David and his men were hiding in that very cave.
Isn't that Saul? Hey, David, this is your chance to take Saul out. Ha ha! Good job. Now, let's get him and kill him.
You would think David would be happy, but he wasn't. It bothered him that he hadn't tried to make peace with Saul.
I shouldn't have cut off a piece of Saul's robe. After all, he's still the king.
But he wants to kill you.
Well, we're not gonna hurt him. That's an order.
Yes, sir.
As Saul left the cave, David came out of hiding.
King Saul, why do you listen to people telling you that I'm trying to hurt you? Look, I got close enough to you to cut off some of your robe, but I didn't kill you. This proves I'm not out to get you. But you're still trying to kill me. The Lord will judge between us. He is my helper, and he will rescue me from your power.
After David talked to Saul, Saul said he was sorry and everything was good. At least for a while. Then Saul got jealous again and chased David all around the country. But don't worry. God blessed David for loving his enemy and trying to make it right between him and Saul. And in time, David became king, just as God had promised.
What can we learn from this story? We see by David's example of not killing King Saul that when we choose not to allow our anger to control us, that we show everyone around us the love and mercy of Jesus. This can be hard sometimes. I mean, I'm sure David wanted his revenge for all King Saul put him through. But we see that because he chose to have self-control, he showed he was the bigger and wiser person for the awful situations that he faced. In the same way, when you notice that your anger is ramping up due to tough circumstances, remember David's example in our bottom line for today, which is don't be controlled by your anger.
Well, that's really hard to do. How can I do that?
By many ways, actually. God gives us everything we need to control our anger. But take this, for example. A soda can. What happens when we shake it up?
It explodes?
Yes, and it makes a huge mess of things. Sometimes our anger can be like that. When we're shaken up by tough situations over and over again, we just want to explode with anger and it makes a mess in our lives. But what happens when instead of being quick to anger, we are quick to talk to God, read His Word, and ask the Holy Spirit to help us have self-control? Here, you can shake this up a little.
But won't it explode?
Find out and see. You see, this can represents someone whose life is shaken but has God's help to have self-control instead. As you can see, you expected for the can to explode everywhere, and most of the world would expect that out of anyone who experiences situations that make them angry. But as followers of Jesus, we are not like the world, and we are to be set apart to be different.
Wow, that makes a lot of sense. The world and Jesus will always know the results of our actions, and everyone will know who I belong to by our choices and results. I definitely will be choosing to not be quick to anger from now on, but instead to be quick to go to God for help anytime I experience anger. Thanks, Tina.
Of course, Belle. Well, hey, you all know what time it is. Let's head over to KidTown, GetDown HQ to check our mail. Let's go, Belle. Come on. Hey guys, we made it to KidTown, GetDown HQ, and look at all the mail we have. If you ever have a question about any of the episodes in KidTown, GetDown, Make sure you email us, and maybe your question will be chosen to be answered in the next episode. So today, we have a question from Elizabeth W. Elizabeth W., thanks so much for turning in this question. It says, how was King Solomon so wise? Elizabeth, great question. What happened was God asked King Solomon, if you could have anything you wanted, what would you want? And King Solomon, instead of asking for riches and power, he said, Lord, I would like to have wisdom. God was so pleased with this answer that he gave King Solomon so much wisdom and riches and power and kingdoms. So, Elizabeth W., that's how King Solomon got his wisdom. God gave it to him. Great question. So guys, that's it for today. I hope that you liked this episode of KidTown, GetDown. I hope that you can like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any episodes from KidTown, GetDown. Thanks guys, and see you next week. Bye.